All right, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? We are live, and in this live stream, I have a plethora of topics. Let me get centered here. I have a plethora of topics I want to discuss, and I'll get into them. One second, actually. All right, let me just give me 1 second. All right, we got a whopping 0. All right. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We are live right now, and I got a few topics that I wanted to discuss, so I hopped in on this live stream. Feel free to leave a comment if you're watching this back on the playback. I appreciate it. But first, let's start out with the NIL and the transfer portal and what I've heard, what I'm hearing. This actually, hold on 1 second. One more second. There we go. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, getting rolling now. Pardon the delay here. Just trying to edit something. My computer's acting up a little bit, but let's get right on into it. All right. So the first thing I want to talk about is NIL and the transfer portal. And what I've heard from a pretty solid source here is that NIL and the transfer portal, obviously, it's been a disaster for college sports, but it has gotten extremely worse in a short period of time where we are talking about. Here, I'm going to have to refresh this. Oh, hold on 1 second. This is why I'm stuck. Okay, here we go. All right, now I'm in business. Pardon that. All right, so the NIL and transfer portal. The NIL and transfer portal, things have gotten far worse in short order, where things are an absolute disaster right now. And the things I've heard are crazy. And this is actually from people who are pretty plugged in. But these athletes in college basketball, we'll start with college basketball, is that these athletes are costing well north of $1 million. And guys who aren't even that good. And this has changed quite a bit in short order, where it wasn't that long ago where we had Florida Atlantic in the Final Four in just 2022. In 2022, 2023, pardon me, 2 short years ago, we had 2 mid-majors in the Final Four 2 short years ago. And now the mid-majors have gone from 2 teams in the Final Four to being just the minor leagues. It's a total disaster right now for college basketball and college sports in general. It's become the haves and the have-nots. There's absolutely zero guardrails right now in the transfer portal. Obviously, I'm stating the obvious, but I saw a report that said that Trump might get involved with an executive order helping to regulate NIL, which I am totally on board for. I would love to see something get done because we have just seen the absolute Wild West. We have absolutely seen just pure chaos in the transfer portal right now, and something needs to be done. And if he does it, that would be fantastic. It seems like Nick Saban is going to get involved. Nick Saban dipped out as soon as other people could pay players like he has been for years. But it would be great just to get some guardrails and some regulations that have not been there and that are much needed. But I heard that the total for a rim running center, an athletic rim protecting center, not even an elite center in the transfer portal is north of $2 million. I mean, we're talking 18 to like 24-year-old kids now are making $2 million in one season. What regulations? Hey, what's up, Sally? What regulations do I want? I want there to be, well, what I would want is I would like to get rid of the transfer portal in general. The transfer portal, and Sally, if you're still there, feel free to send this to the rest of the squad. But what I would want the most is for them to get rid of the transfer portal. And it would be pretty simple where you could just bring back the redshirt rule. The redshirt rule was there for many, many years, and that will stop the poaching. Coaches shouldn't have to worry about players being poached in the handshake line by the other team and getting big offers, big negotiations. from other coaches. There should be a season for it. It shouldn't happen. The portal shouldn't open up while the regular season is still wrapping up, while the NCAA tournament's going on for college basketball. So the window should be different. I wouldn't let players just transfer right away. And if you can't bring back the redshirt rule, I would like them to perhaps just give them a one-time transfer. But you can't be going to 8 schools in 8 different years. My God, I just heard the WIAA approved NIL. In the transfer portal, basically, in high school basketball. In high school basketball, it really isn't that serious. It's not that serious. And that just blows my mind that we've gotten to a point where high school kids are getting recruited. Like, imagine that being your job. Imagine that being your job, trying to recruit 14, 15, 16-year-olds to come to your high school to play basketball and paying them. That just, to me, seems to be degrading, humiliating, sad. It's stupid. I mean, when I was in high school, it's not even that long ago, relatively speaking, like the WIA was so strict on the dumbest stuff. And now we've reached a point where they are allowing kids to be paid for high school basketball. No one cares about high school basketball. Like, in the big picture, no one cares about high school basketball. And we're paying kids. We're paying kids to play high school sports. What happened to education? Like, I understand at the college level saying, okay, they're trying to make money right now. Like, or this is turning into pros, or college basketball brings in millions and millions and millions of dollars of revenue. I understand that. But to pay high school kids who are like 10 years away from their brain being fully developed, and we're paying them, and they're going to flip-flop schools throughout their high school career and not learn anything, not improve in the classroom. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. So shame on the WIA, bunch of losers. And Mrs. Hauser ain't doing a good job running that thing if she's letting that happen. I mean, shout out Sam Hauser. Sorry to hear that he got hurt, but his mom needs to step up. WIA is a total disaster right now. Letting kids be, gosh, it's just ridiculous. Hold on one second. Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. So disappointed in my state for letting high school kids get paid and flip-flop schools throughout their high school journey. That's a joke. And then, college players are getting paid. Average pedestrian players are getting paid millions of dollars. And we're talking about mediocre players who return to their team for a nice sum of money. They're getting announcements from the schools, like the actual basketball program or the football program. You'll have a guy who averaged 2 points per game who's returning to his team, get an announcement saying, yeah, I'm returning, guys. I'm back. Like, have we really reached this point where it's that big a deal when a scrub returns to his college team? Let's see. How are we doing, Bear Gaming? Good to see you guys. Appreciate you guys stopping by. I'm just going on a rant right now about some of my players showing up here. I'm just going on a rant about how stupid the WIA, which is the regulating body for high school sports, it's just unbelievable that a bunch of 14 to 18-year-olds are going to be able to make money playing high school sports. I mean, no one really cares in the big picture. No one cares. It's not a money-making business, and they're going to get paid. Like, my point and why I'm ripping on this is because they should have to make their money or they should have to focus on an education rather than making some money playing high school basketball. Then, the Knicks do own the Celtics. Jaylen Brown, Jason, and Tatum and company. I don't know what's going on with Porzingis. I think him being out hurts them a lot, but I wouldn't count these Celtics out. This is a bold take, but I wouldn't count them out. They have some winners. They're talented. They're old. They're experienced. They've been there. I would be surprised if the Knicks win it in 4 or 5. I do think the Knicks are very likely to win it, but I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be easy for them. But yeah, I think I made my point. But we're talking college players now. Average college basketball players are now making 7 figures, and making well into the 7 figures, which is just unbelievable. Just unbelievable to me. And the problem with it is it just becomes the mid-majors become the minor leagues, and then high majors. It's just a bidding war between a bunch of donors who have nothing better to spend their money on than college basketball. Like that's all it is what school has the best donors, what school can pay the most money for these kids who, I mean, college athletes have always walked around with a little too much swagger for my liking. A lot of them, not all of them. I've interviewed quite a few good ones on my channel, but now you're giving them millions and millions of dollars. Who should you bet on? Who should you bet on for the NBA Finals? Yeah, I know you're not nearly old enough to be gambling, but I know you guys like to do that little fake gambling app. I'll say watch out for the Nuggets. That'd be my sleeper. They might be worth the odds. I would say the Nuggets might be worth the odds. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let me get into Cole. How are we doing, my guy? Let me get right into why I'm about to fat shame Luka. I don't care about fat shaming because Luka should be the best player in the NBA. He should be the best player in the NBA right now, but the dude can't put down the beer bottle. If he could just put down the beer bottle, not eat so much food, he would be the best player in the NBA. With the feel that he has for the game is, it really, few players have ever really possessed it. And for him to have this talent that he's developed, it's not, he's worked on it, but for him to have this potential, it's just he's wasting it. And people say that it was a bad trade. And I remember one of you guys saying that it was like it was like the what was it, Brittany Griner for the Merchant of Death. That's how bad the trade was. But I thought about it a little bit more. And there's a video after the Mavericks won the Western Conference Finals in just last season where Michael Finley, former Wisconsin Badger, takes a beer bottle out of Luka's hands, and Luka's just like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, you know what, I probably deserve that. But I think that's very relevant. I think there's a lot more to the story. I think they know stuff about Luka. They know they're not getting over the hump because I just don't think Luka cares. The NBA and the NBA's ratings are terrible because of all the stuff they did over the recent years, bending the knee to China, amongst other things. But their ratings are down. It's all self-inflicted. But part of the problem is, and I like Jokic and Luka. I think they're cool. I think they're fun to watch. But they really don't care. They're Europeans who don't care about the NBA. Like, they didn't grow up idolizing Michael Jordan. Like, they show up, they get paid, and then they leave. They really don't care all that much. And that's not good for the brand of basketball. That's why the NBA ratings have tanked. And what sucks about basketball is the NBA ratings are tanking right now. But you also have college basketball is going to hell right now. College basketball is a total disaster right now. The NBA has shot themselves in the foot way too many times. All their toes are gone from all the times they shot themselves in the foot. So basketball is just not in a great spot. And now we have high school kids making money. I mean, I sound like a cantankerous old man right now, but high school kids are making money playing basketball. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like, college, I mean, I can understand if academics aren't the biggest priority for guys who have a future in basketball, but most of them don't have a future in basketball. They need to probably pick up a degree. Who's that? Oh, okay. Yeah, I agree. No, LeBron's a clown. It was truly a shame that LeBron couldn't go to his gala. It sent waves, it sent ripples through not just the sports world, but the world in general. I'm glad that his wife could hold it down for him, but that was truly devastating. But yeah, I was truly sad. Brought a lot of people sadness. And then, yeah, just finishing my thoughts on Luka. Luka should be the best player in the NBA right now, but I think he's got to have a drinking problem. He definitely has a food problem. But how much for you to be chubby, just to be somewhat chubby as an NBA player, right? How the hell can you be chubby when you're playing 82 games in the regular season? The playoffs last months. Like, do you know how much you have to be drinking and eating to be adding weight when you're doing that much cardio? And you're training with professionals day in and day out. I don't know how it's possible not to be in great shape. Like, and what's amazing is if Jokic focused on his diet for just the next month, like, he would be a totally different player if he were to make the NBA Finals. I think they take place like June 5th. If he was just to focus, lock in with this diet for a month, he would slim down and be able to move so much better. He's already dominant as he is, but just imagine how much better he could be. Both Luka and Jokic just don't care about the NBA. They want to win, but trust me, Luka's not losing any sleep over losing in the first round. It's much different. The NBA is very, very soft. LeBron isn't the GOAT. Yeah, no, oh, jeez. All right. I do think LeBron's going to be solid next year. I don't think LeBron is going to fall off a cliff. I think he's got a lot of juice left in the tank. I like to think that he's natural. I like to think that he's not taking a bunch of nasty things, but I don't know. No, he's more than big boned. You look at what he did his rookie year when you guys were like 2 years old. Look at what he did in his rookie year on 18-19 when he was teammates with the legend Devin Harris. He was dunking and punching down on guys like we haven't seen him do ever. You guys haven't seen anything like that. Okay. Yeah, Jokic he does like his horses. He'd much rather just be chilling, doing his thing, relaxing, betting with his horses, tending to his horses than playing basketball. And that's why partially one of the many reasons why the NBA ratings have tanked in recent memory. Yeah, so I think I covered the transfer portal enough, and I got sidetracked. Yeah, I'm very sorry about LeBron missing the Gala. That affected many people. LeBron, of course, is milking the hell out of his knee injury and just letting everyone know how bad it is. I saw a tweet today that was quoting LeBron, and it sounded like he was narrating his injury. Like MJ would never. Like, just, you got injured, recover. You don't need a whole sob story. Pity is for women and children. Knock it off. All right. And that's just a joke for anybody. Don't take it too personally. But yeah, if Luka would put down the beer, he'd be the best player in the NBA. Doc Rivers is an absolute fraud. Bucks should fire him. I can't believe they hired him in the first place. I know people who wanted him to be hired as the Bucks coach, and I told them it was a terrible idea. From the start, I told them it was a terrible idea. They didn't listen. Even Adrian Griffith, he didn't pass the eye test, like the teams with how they were performing, but they were winning. A win is a win. Gritty, not pretty. Gritty, not pretty. Jake Paul is going to beat Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., and I also think that Jake Paul should fight Kenzie Morrison. I'm going to make a video on that. Stay tuned, but I'm going to break down why Jake Paul should fight Kenzie Morrison and why I think it's a massive fight. Kenzie is the son of Tommy Morrison. Any casual sports fan knows who Tommy Morrison is. Anyone knows that. And you have a son that is 20-1 as a pro boxer. He's 6'4", 220 pounds in his prime, and Jake can beat him. Jake can beat him, but Jake, that fight just makes too much sense. I don't care if Kenzie doesn't have a social media following. Jake Paul, Kenzie Morrison sells out a basketball arena, might even sell out more. All Kenzie needs is an introduction to the public. But Shannon Sharp, you gotta think a little bit more. Shedeur Sanders draft slide. He slid because he's not a first round talent, and then he has too much distractions to him. You don't want a circus in your locker room. Clippers, I botched this take. The Clippers, are they for real? Okay, I like the Clippers or the Nuggets. I like whoever wins that series. I think either of them can beat the Thunder. I'm not saying they will, but I think they can beat them. And I think if whoever wins that series can walk into the NBA Finals. All right. Let's see. I got to catch up on some comments here. Yeah. And I'm not a horses' lives matter. All right. I'm not a big fan of the Derby for this reason. They inject these horses with steroids, and then a lot of them live short lifespans, and it's sad. It's a very, very depressing thing. That I don't know. I've never been into the Derby. I think it's the most overrated event in all of sports. Like, it's not even a sport. You have all these little dudes who are not even 5 feet tall riding the horse, whipping them, injecting them with steroids. The horses are dying young. It's just a stupid event. And we wait all day for that event, and it lasts like 90 seconds. I think it's over the top. Yes, no, I totally agree. I wasn't familiar with your game, Solly. I'm impressed that you know about that song. I really hated Jake Paul back then. He's won me over a little bit since. I think he's a legitimate boxer, and I'm excited for his fight. I did hear that you got fifth at nationals. Congratulations. That is something to be proud of. That is something to be proud of. That is not easy to do. So congratulations. Did you guys come in third place in state? And did Wisconsin Lutheran, did they win nationals? All right. So, all right. Next topic I got is, had a birthday recently. And I'm going to save this one. I also have another topic that I'm going to save for when my buddy Tyler shows up to the show. But I will, I'll answer any of your guys' questions. All right. Third. Oh, and you're going to Wisconsin Lutheran, not LCL? Is that true? Can I get a confirmation? St. John's Tosa won nationals. What happened to Wisconsin Lutheran? Did they have their squad there? Solly, you don't want that smoke with Cole. But what happened to Wisconsin Lutheran? Did they have their players there? And Owen. So he's not going. He's going. Wow. I mean, I understand it. It's hard to not. I mean, who wouldn't want to play with the what is it? The Knupples? All right. So I'm gonna get back to some other topics. And I'll just kind of circle back to NIL real quickly. I just want to circle back to NIL real quickly. I look at AJ Storr, a guy who I had on the channel, a guy who popped off, was all Big Ten, and the dude in high school, 4 schools in 4 years, and then in college, he's going to 4 schools in 4 years. That guy is committed to not being loyal. Like, his commitment to not committing is actually admirable, I will say. It's amazing. But, like, that's not healthy. What is he learning? How is he developing mentally and growing as an individual and growing his intellect when, he's probably barely going to school and he's just flip-flopping schools? You can tell he's not going to get a degree. And he's not going to play in the NBA. Maybe he can make some good money overseas or in the G League, or maybe he'll have a cup of tea in the NBA, but he's not going to make that money. And what's he going to do when basketball's over? Basketball only lasts so long. So the NBA or the college basketball is a joke. Get rid of the transfer portal. Bring back the redshirt rule. We survived for all these years. You guys know who Sam Hauser is. Do you guys know who Sam Hauser is? He went to Marquette. His mom is doing a terrible job running the WIAA. Sam Hauser went to Marquette for 3 years, and he looked nothing like an NBA player. Nothing at all. Not even close. And I remember Marquette did a dumb thing. They made a kind of a joke on their X account or Twitter back in the day. They made a joke about Sam Hauser and his dunking. Like, they're like, oh, we got a rare sight. Sam Hauser dunked, and they posted a career dunk highlights videos, and it was like one dunk. Like, that was stupid and disrespectful. But yeah, the Hausers beefed with Marcus Howard. They wanted to be more involved in the offense. Wojo was a bad coach. Let Marcus Howard do too much. And actually, I like Marcus Howard. But Sam Hauser wasn't looking like an NBA player. And back when they had the transfer rule where you sat out after you transferred, that would get rid of the poaching. That would get rid of the ridiculous prices in college basketball. It would get rid of it. But he transferred to Virginia, and that was the best move he could have ever made because he worked his tail off in his redshirt year. He worked on his athleticism to the point where he could hold his own in the NBA and have a contributing role on the NBA championship squad last season. He wouldn't have that Marquette. If he would have stayed at Marquette, that would have never have happened. But he worked his tail off with his body, became more athletic, and he was doing things in his 5th year at Virginia that we never saw him do at Marquette. He wasn't capable of it. He was driving to the hoop. I remember him driving to the hoop and punching down. His game was super versatile, and that's how he ended up in the NBA. He worked his tail off. That redshirt rule was a wonderful thing. All right, let me catch up here. Oh, gosh. Is Giannis leaving the Bucks? All right, that's a good question. Yeah, I hope not. Like, I like loyalty. I think loyalty is a wonderful thing, and I don't think it exists too much anymore. All right. Thanks, Big Frankie. Appreciate you. Uh, yeah, but it's just a fact. Sam never would have made the NBA had he stayed at Marquette. But the transfer rule is why Sam Hauser's in the NBA. Like right now, we're in a world where kids, college kids, all they've ever taught was instant gratification. That's all they've ever known is instant gratification. And like all we're doing is furthering that. Where okay, yeah, things don't work out at this school. Instead of putting your head down and working your tail off, working to improve, you just jump ship and go to the next school and then the next school. You're not developing. You're not developing as a player like you would if you stayed at one place and you have coaches that are invested in you, trying to set you up for the future. So, we survived for many years. That would be my solution, but I think it's in the courts. I would love a beautiful executive order to come from the president's pen, getting rid of the transfer portal. That would be my solution. That would be all we need. That's the only solution we need. Because then, if you want a player to transfer to your school, they're going to have to get rid of that instant gratification. They're going to have to sit out a year. And then, like, I just think that gets rid of all the poaching. It brings down the prices. People are going to want to pay endless millions of dollars for a kid to be sitting on the bench. Yeah. And so I'll answer this. Is Giannis leaving the Bucks? I hope not. I like loyalty. I think it's a beautiful thing. But he's not going to be winning anything with Doc Rivers as his coach. And then Damian Lillard being injured, that throws a wrench in things. No one's going to you're stuck with Lillard in his contract. He's out probably all of next season. And then when he comes back, he's not going to be the same guy. So yeah, Giannis, it's a tough spot for the Bucks. They should have never got rid of Chris Middleton. Yeah, they should have never gotten rid of Chris Middleton. That was a stupid trade. I could have told you that for free, that Kuzma is a guy putting up big numbers on a crappy team. But yeah, tough situation. Bucks legend. You'd like to see a legend stick around. You'd like to see it to be both parties being loyal, but it's bad. But yeah, Hauser's, man, there's so many stories of guys utilizing that redshirt year and becoming look at John Tonje this last year. He was hurt and he got a medical waiver and he was a late bloomer, worked on his game, developed his body, and was an All-American this last year. Right. I think we're living in a world where everyone can just scroll on social medias and get their short-term dopamine boost. No one wants to put their head down to work for anything. You'll never have a Frank Kaminsky ever again. Yeah, if Frank Kaminsky was in today's world and he grew up with social media, grew up with all this stuff, I really don't like actually, never mind. But if he grew up with all this stuff, then like he would have just dipped after his first year. And same with Sam Decker. Both guys would have dipped and they never would have became Wisconsin legends. They never, maybe Decker could have been a first-round pick regardless. But Frank would be selling insurance right now. Frank would have been selling insurance at 24 years old. He would have been working some 9 to 5, but instead he got first-round money and had he had an 8-year NBA career because he stuck around. So, yeah. I think unless there's any more questions, I think I'm going to wrap it up for the night. But here's the thing. I wanted to do a solo live, and I appreciate my squad showing up. I haven't posted much lately, and then I know once I stop posting, then I just get dunked on with the algorithm. The algorithm doesn't want to push out my stuff. So I thought it was nice to hop on the live. I did it solo. I was supposed to have my buddy Tyler, who I play one-on-one with on the channel, and we'll be getting more involved with in the future. I thought this would be nice, and I appreciate you guys stopping by. Is Matthew Golden legit? I don't know. I like the speed, and I like that the Packers are finally drafting a first-round pick. I think that whole narrative was overplayed over the years. Like, drafting Jordy Nelson in the second round isn't anything to scoff at. But, he was the first-round pick, I think, since 2002 when the Packers drafted Javon Walker. And you guys are far too young to know who Javon Walker is, but he was a dog. He was probably Favre's second-best receiver outside of Sterling Sharp, but unfortunately, Javon Walker his tenure with Green Bay was short, tore his ACL and got traded. Or I don't remember exactly how that panned out. But, yeah, jump ball receiver. Like that they invested. Matthew Golden. Devonta Adams. He wasn't a first-round pick. No, he definitely wasn't a first-round pick. Let me look it up. think second round. I'm pretty sure he was a second round pick. Why can't I see? Yeah, second round, 53rd pick. So Adams, no. Yeah, no, he was good. That's what I'm saying. Is that a lot of people love that narrative that a lot of people love the narrative that like we never drafted first round talent with that we avoided drafting talents and that Rodgers had a bare cupboard. Look at that 2011 Sports Illustrated cover. Here, hold on. All right, I just caught a stray in my text messages. James Harden. Let's talk about James Harden for a second. All right. James Harden overall in that series against the Clippers, I thought he did what he needed to do. I thought he did a fine job. Game 7, did he show up? No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. It was dropping dimes, but it was just an ass whooping. I mean, Harden, he still got gas in the tank. Harden in 2018 did a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful job playing the Warriors. If Chris Paul doesn't pull his hamstring, strain his hamstring, they would have beat the super team Warriors, which I thought was impossible. So Harden forever has my respect after how he played in that series. And we'll never see. We'll never know. We'll never know about Harden without a beard. But I think that's probably good. I think we all should probably be hitting the hay pretty soon. Unless there's any other questions, I think I'm done. I think this is a decent live stream. Not great. I think I saved some stuff for next time when I have a co-host, and we'll chop it up with some different topics. But yeah, appreciate you guys joining the live stream. I will say, was just finishing my final thoughts here. Wisconsin Badgers, decent transfer portal haul. Badger football, I like that they're kicking dudes out. What do I think the Nuggets will do? I got Nuggets. I got the Nuggets. I got the Nuggets in 7. I'm going with the Nuggets. I think it's anyone's series. I really I don't have a great foresight into this. You know, my perspicacity is limited here, but I would say that OKC has some guys who've been around for a minute, but I appreciate the fact that they the Nuggets have championship experience and that they're older. Like, they're not over the hill older, but they got some grown men on their team. And I would love to see Russell Westbrook win a ring. I'd really love to see Westbrook win a ring. I might actually fly out to Denver for one of these games and go on a little trip and enjoy a little journey, a little travel. But yeah, I think the Nuggets. I'm gonna go Nuggets in 7. Cold. He plays hard. He's got heart. Oh gosh. He's got heart, plays hard. But yeah, I think OKC is too young. I think the Warriors are cooked without. Actually, what's going on in the game right now? I think the Warriors are probably cooked without Steph. Yeah. It's 85-106. Timberwolves are up. They're probably cooked. Let's see what do the Brewers do today? Well, it looks like they had a day off, but yeah, I think they're probably cooked. And the Timberwolves are tough too. I would like to see Mike Conley win a ring too. People don't realize that Mike Conley. Let's move back to when Conley was in college for a second. All right. So the year is 2006, 2007, and Mike Conley is a freshman at Ohio State alongside Greg Oden. Look up the name if you don't know who that is. Greg Oden was the first pick over Kevin Durant in the 2007 NBA draft, and he was the first pick for a reason. Unfortunately, he got hurt Ooh, did he really? Ant got injured? Well, that does change things quite a bit. Is that true? You're not messing with me. Did Edwards actually get hurt? Cole, I trust you. I trust you. I'd be disappointed if you lied. But yeah, so let's take it back to 2006, 2007. Mike Conley was a freshman at Ohio State. You guys can go to Stat Reference, fact check me on all this. Ankle injury. Ooh, how bad of an ankle injury? If it was like mine, he's not coming back. If it was like mine, he's not coming back. But here's my final thought for the night: is 2006, 2007. Mike Conley was a freshman at Ohio State alongside Greg Oden, and Wisconsin was in that season they were number 1 in the country in February, and that was the year when Florida had Corey Brewer, Al Horford, Joakim Noah, amongst others. They had like 8, 9 NBA players. Ohio State had Conley and Oden, 2 sensational freshmen. Wisconsin was ranked number 1 in the country, and they beat Ohio State in their first matchup. And how did that season end out? It was Ohio State versus Florida, national championship. And Wisconsin beat Ohio State in their first matchup. In their second matchup at Ohio State, their center, Brian Butch, dislocated his elbow, and the season fell apart after that. Not necessarily fell apart, but their level just dipped. For some reason, Bo Ryan had it out for Greg Stiemsma. Stiemsma played in the NBA for like 6 years, and Stiemsma played in the NBA for 6 years, and Bo didn't increase his minutes even when Butch got injured, which is kind of crazy to me. But Wisconsin, their season kind of fell apart. Lost in the round of 32 to UCLA, UNLV. Lost again to Ohio State in the Big Ten tournament. But I'm telling you, if Wisconsin stays healthy that year, I think they make the Final Four, and I think that was the best Wisconsin team ever. I think they were better than the 14-15 squad, which might be a controversial take, but at their peak, they were nasty. So, yeah. Any more questions? Do you guys want to alley-oop me anything else? Otherwise, I'm going to get off. I'm going to go to bed. If there's any more comments, consistency is key. Actually, I do have one other thing. To talk about. But remember, consistency is key with anything you do in life. If you want to get better at something and you don't work at it, you don't do it consistently, nothing good's going to happen. So that's why I hopped on the stream, is because I got to get something out there. I got to get something out there. Got to touch the algorithm. I'm busy. Life is very, very busy, but there's no excuses. You just got to go and do your thing. So touch the algorithm, did my job. But here is the final thing I want to leave you with. And I am proud of you. I'm proud of you. I'll be even more proud if you play in high school next year. But no, good job. Good job. That's great to hear. I should have worked on that earlier with you. But here's going to be my final thing. And my last thing, I want, as I change my name, I'm no longer Sports Chat with Matt. It's Matt Michaels, where I share a tidbit or two. I'm not acting like I'm some life guru, but I do think I can offer you practical wisdom, or just practical common sense, practicality that you can apply to your life. The last one I said was cheer for your friends, cheer for your family. Sounds simple. You would think that's a given, but a lot of people are like crabs in a bucket. They don't want to see you succeed. They don't want to see others succeed. They want to see someone succeed up until the point that it makes them uncomfortable. Like, oh, wow, he's starting to really pop off. Like, and look what I'm doing in my life right now. That makes me uncomfortable. And then people get jealous and they don't root for others. So my thing is, you're not someone's friend and they are not your friend if you're not cheering for their successes. Like, you should want your friends to be happy. You should want your friends to feel fulfilled and reach their endeavors and their pursuits. And a lot of people don't cheer for their friends. They're fake friends. So just, that's my advice. Be happy for others. Don't be jealous. So that, and I'm going to build off of it for this one. This is my final practical knowledge that it's just pretty simple common sense, but it's worth saying. Don't tell others your goals. Like, as a man, just move in silence. Don't be telling people you're going to do this. By the end of next summer, I'm going to be doing this. Or I'm going to lose all this weight, or I'm going to be able to dunk a basketball by this time, or I'm going to have this business pop off by this time. Keep that to yourself. Move in silence. You don't overshare your goals with people a lot of times who aren't rooting for you, a lot of people who don't see the vision. They're going to tell your goals to someone who doesn't see the vision, and then they're going to shoot your goals down, and that's going to devastate you, because a lot of times you can share your vision with someone who doesn't see it, and you respect that person, but they don't see the vision, and when someone you respect shoots you down or says not to do something or that it's impossible to be done, then you lose all your confidence. So how about you just put the work in? Don't tell everybody you're putting the work in. Just put the work in on your own, in silence. Don't tell everybody. It's pretty simple. You can walk away discouraged if you tell someone and they shoot you down. You walk away discouraged. A lot of people are crabs in a bucket, and they will subtly sabotage you. So my tidbit of wisdom for tonight is move in silence and don't tell everybody else your goals. If you say you're going to do something, you better do it. You're putting a lot of pressure on yourself. If you're oversharing your goals, you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself. There's nothing worse than being someone who says they're going to do all these great things and then they never do. That's the worst. So that's my final message. Move in silence. Don't tell everybody your goals. I'll see. Whoa. Cole. Don't be disrespectful. Appreciate you, Big Frankie. You know that. You don't overshare your goals with others. You don't share your goals with others. I regret it. That's some of my biggest regrets is telling people my goals. And then them not seeing the vision and then me feeling discouraged. Like I definitely have overshared to people I shouldn't have overshared to. Then I walk away discouraged, and then it's just not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling. So remember, not everyone, unfortunately, this sucks to say, but a lot of people are jealous creatures, and don't be a jealous creature. Be happy for each other, root for each other's successes, especially my squad. Like, cheer for each other, hold each other accountable, push each other, but root for each other. Be genuinely happy for other people's successes. Not everything is a comparison game. Comparison is the thief to all joy. So, whoa. Things are getting a little too spicy in this chat. You guys are going to be, you guys got to tone it down. What are my lessons right now? What is Worthy saying? What is Worthy saying? I didn't see it. Well, didn't see it, but so I don't know what's going on. But all I will say is, a lot of creatures. I don't think I see his comment. I didn't see his comment, but don't be a fraud. Don't be a fraud. Don't be envious of your peers. Root for them to succeed, and when you help others succeed, you're more likely to succeed. So, hating on others, not cheering for others, just a bad look. So that's the final thing I got for tonight. Enjoy your night. Go to bed at a decent time. I will see you next time. Sleep is a very, very valuable thing. Sleep's a great thing. So I'll see you guys later. Thanks for stopping by the stream. I sincerely appreciate you guys. Good catching up, and I'll see you next time.